Hi everyone, this video is to show you how to access and submit an annotation assignment. This video will be relatively long because there are a lot of features available in the annotation assignment, but just as a heads up. So when you open an annotation assignment, it looks like a standard Schoology assignment with the title at the top, the due date, any instructions that your teacher has will be sitting right here, and then to view the individual copy of your document, you actually need to click the Start Assignment button. So once you click that, your copy of the document is going to load. And then the first thing you're going to want to know is that in the See More area, this is where you can pull down the instructions that your teacher has for you. And so this might be helpful for you to kind of keep tabs on what you're supposed to be doing with the document. Just as a reminder, you can close that. You can change the zoom size of this, lots of different options available to you there. There are this dark mode feature that some of you may find useful. Maybe you prefer that. It makes it easier for you to see things. You can obviously print and download. And then this is a search feature, which is kind of handy in case there's specific quotes in a longer document that you're looking for that you can't exactly remember what page it's on. You can search for certain things. So you can search and then the word shows up and it tells you where exactly it is. If you want to close the search, go ahead and close that. And you'll notice that there are two different types of things you can do here. You can type or you can draw. And so under the typing, you can highlight things, you can underline things, you can do a strike through which crosses out words, and then you can do a little squiggly underline, which is kind of neat. This lets you create a text box, and so you can draw a text box, and then you can type into it, change the font, monitor that, drag and drop it anywhere on the document that you like. These two are the freehand, and so you can freehand write and freehand highlight. That's completely up to you. For all things, you can change the color of that, and so this is the color, this is the text box, so I can change the text, I can change the font size, I can change bold, italics, spacing, alignment, things like that. I can change the color of my font. There's also the fill option, which fills in the back of the text box, and so let me just show you what some of these things look like. And so for the highlight, I can change this, say I want this quote. That's a nice one, and then I decide, I actually want to do this one in yellow because this is a slightly different thing. Or maybe I want to do an underline, and I actually like having a green underline, right? And so there's all of these different options available to you, and again, you can change these things, add colors, transparency, things like that. The text box, you can insert text here, just draw a text box, and you'll notice that the palette pops up. This palette doesn't go away, and so if it's blocking your text box like this, I do recommend that you scroll until it kind of like moves itself. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you may need to refresh a couple of times to get that to work, and so let's just leave it there. If you click out of it, then you have access to your text box. You can change the size of it. You can go back to the palette, right? And again, sometimes it's going to cover that, which is kind of annoying. So just keep in mind that sometimes we do need to like not rotate, but scroll until we can get access to certain things. And so now the palette is underneath it. This little button means you can drag it anywhere, place it anywhere on the document. And again, you can change the size and the font of things and so that it fits a little bit better. Close that, show you what the fill looks like so you can see the fill, things like that, right? And so there are lots of options here. In addition to that, you can obviously delete the text box or you can link things to the text box. And so if there's something that is outside an external link, you can add that as well. We'll leave that there, sitting there for now. The draw options are also relatively clear. And so this is the freehand highlight. This is the freehand writing, just so you continue to have those options. You can draw a rectangle, you can make a circle. For these polygon shapes, you are able to kind of just draw any shape you want. And so to end the line, you click, and that creates the shape that you are looking for, right? And that'll end the polygon for you. You can make clouds and lines and arrows and a polyline, so that's just going to keep going. If you want to undo something, you can just click the undo button. If you want to bring it back, bring it forward. And then there's also this eraser feature, which allows you to kind of just go over large spaces and erase all the things that you don't want in your document anymore. There's also this clear all. If you don't like anything you've done up to this point, you can clear all and it'll tell you this warning, and so that's up to you. Then when you are done, you're going to click this submit button, and you should see it like this, assignment submitted, right? You do have the resubmit assignment option. This tells you whether or not you want to add that to your portfolio. We'll get to that later. But if you resubmit, you can open it back up again, right? And you can see what you're working on. And then you can also revert to the previous submission. And so, for instance, if I were to add something here, add that, let's do a highlight. Oops. Undo that. Back to here. Highlight, highlight, and then it's saving, right? I can revert back to the previous submission so that I can go back to the original one that I submitted if that's easier for you and you don't like the changes that you made, just as an FYI. And so that is basically how to use the annotation assignment. Lots of different features. Feel free to play around, but hopefully you find this useful.